haven't been to Montgomery with the church yet, I'd highly recommend it. I feel like we went down with a lot of questions and came back with even more as we interacted with the people at Strong Tower Church in Montgomery and walked through the civil rights monuments and focused on racial reconciliation through the trip and just asking God, what would you have for us? What would you like to teach us and show us in this time together? Who is my neighbor? When God says to love your neighbor as yourself, who is my neighbor and how can I do that? And so I just think that goes beyond. It's so easy to get tribal in your life and in my life, and just associate with people or feel the most comfortable with people who are like me, either socioeconomic wise or racially, or gender, or even our denomination and theology preferences. But God's love doesn't discriminate between those things, and He doesn't want us to discriminate. It's just been a prayer, and I feel like God's opened my eyes to more opportunities and just wanting to be more aware of interacting with people, not on a discriminatory basis of is this person comfortable for me to talk to or reach out to or not, but just because they're my neighbor and I want to love them like Christ does because He's loved me.
The Montgomery trip for me was really encouraging. So to meet the pastors at Strong Tower Church, Terrence and Alonzo, and see their heart simply for the gospel. There's nothing kind of fancy in their ministry. They were just simply loving people, loving their community, preaching the gospel, doing Bible studies, sharing their faith. It was convicting for me. Both of them were involved in Campus Outreach, which is a ministry that Colette and I were involved in college. And to be reminded of just the simple call to love God and to love our neighbors as ourselves was really, really refreshing and convicting all at the same time. So another thing that stood out about the trip, just being able to tour the parsonage where Dr. Martin Luther King lived, to go to the Legacy Museum, a lot of the civil rights monuments and experiences down there. I felt like I was getting a class in church history, particularly the African American church, to see how central that institution was back in the 50s and 60s at leading the way. And truthfully, leading the way when maybe the white evangelical church failed. So encouraging to see that movement and that striving for justice was not fueled out of a kind of secular philosophy, but the truth of the gospel.